tension between Roma and Juliet is so good. Like, I'm angry and I'm sad at the same time. Can we talk? Because this was incredible. I'm just saying, there's insects in this book. Because even if you hate me, Roma Montagov, I still love you. I am so tired, and I don't know why, because I've had this whole coffee. He loves her so much, he hates her for it. That's what it is. That's the vibe. Don't be stupid. Walk away. Walk away. Going dog. Hello, book friends. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you are new, my name is Caitlin, and I hope you're doing so lovely. Today's video is a very exciting video, and one that I had been planning for a while, and I finally did it. So this, as you saw from the title, is a 24-hour reading vlog. Now this isn't your normal, like, I start 10 o'clock on a Friday and ends 10 o'clock on a Saturday. No, this is a timed 24-hour reading vlog. So meaning my stopwatch is going to run, and I'm going to see if I can finish the books I want to finish in 24 hours. And so this actually is going to be the start of a new series here on my channel. One of my main goals going into the latter half of this year and then continuing on with next year is to finish series that I really want to finish, or if I start a series, finish it. So with that, I figured doing themed reading vlogs is the best answer to that, because I can get content out of it while doing some reading. Duh. And I figured 24 hours is great for smaller series, so as in like duologies or 3-book series, or if they're like really small books in a series, I can do that. But I think the time will probably change if I do like a really long series. Obviously, I can't read like a 10-book series in 24 hours. That would be crazy. But for now, we're going to go with 24 hours. So for this first installment of this very exciting vlog, so the series I'm going to be doing first for my first installment of this new series here on my channel, that was a lot of series in one sentence, is These Violent Delights and Our Violins by Chloe Gone. And yeah, I put these on my fall TBR and was like, okay, I gotta read them this year, and I, spoiler alert, so glad I did. And these books, I'll talk about more in my wrap up, but these books are set in the 1920s in Shanghai. There is a blood feud going on between two of the gangs. We have the Scarlet Gang and the White Flower Gang, and basically they're making the streets bleed red. And at the heart of both of these gangs, we have two young individuals named Juliet, who's the heir of the Scarlet Gang, and then we have Roma Makatov, who is the heir of the White Flowers. Juliet and Roma have a history. Roma was actually Juliet's first betrayal, and it sent her over the edge, and she went away for 4 years, and now she's back to resume her role as an heiress. And there is a madness going around that's making people sick and crazy, and people are dying, and they're forced to put aside their grudges and their guns and work together. Before I let past Caitlin take it away, I just want to say make sure you guys are subscribed, because I'm going to be doing more of these vlogs in the future. October is going to be a very exciting month for content, and I'm excited about it. And make sure you guys follow me on my social medias. I will have them linked down below. They're always linked down below. And let's let past Caitlin take it away. Hi guys, I am here with my first update of this 24-hour timed vlog. I'm not too sure what I'm going to title it yet, but I am currently on my first hour of reading. I think I've decided I'm going to check in every hour if I can. So first hour check-in. I am 61 pages into These Violent Delights, and I'm really liking this, you guys. I'm listening to it on audiobook while I follow along, because I figured that is probably the easiest way for me to get this done like in an efficient time and actually like make reading like go faster, because I was trying to figure out how I'm going to fit these two into like 24 hours. And according to the audiobooks, this one is 14 hours long, and then Our Violet Ends is 17 hours long. I'm listening to them on 2 times speed, so it cuts the time in half. I don't know if I'm going to listen to this on audiobook the whole time I'm reading this, but when I'm home and I have my desk with me, annotating is definitely going by easier with listening to audiobook. Okay, anyways. So a little bit about where I am in these Violent Delights. So we have met Juliet, who is the heir to the Scarlet Gang. Her father is Lord Sy. I think that's how you pronounce it. And she just got back from being away for 4 years, was in the burlesque club talking to her cousins, meeting up with this guy who wants to make a deal with her father, but her father sent her when her arch nemesis, Roma McIntosh, walks in and says, I need to talk to you about something. So they talk, and the night before, 7 people had died, and he's trying to figure out information, if she had any, which she didn't. She had no idea, like, how it happened, what happened. And then we kind of get to know, like, a little bit about both Juliet, Roma, who is the heir to the White Flowers, who is a Russian group. And I don't know if I didn't think I said this. This is set in Shanghai, 1962. 1929. Sorry. Which I've never really read a book from the 20s, but I'm excited. I'm really liking it so far. Roma keeps hinting about how he misses old Juliet and how that Juliet is dead and gone. There was actually a passage that I really liked. I'm gonna rewind. I don't think I finished my train of thought. Finish your train of thought, Caitlin. And something happened to cause Roma and his father's, like, relationship astray. Roma used to be, like, the most trusted son, and now his father, which is the Lord, which is the leader of the White Flowers, kind of pushed him aside and, like, has an attitude with him and, like, isn't happy with him. And I'm guessing it has to do with Juliet, because we had a scene in just this past chapter that I just read where something happened at the Scarlet Gang's, like, house, and there was a white flower left upon the porch, and it said, "My son sends his regards." So I don't know what happened between them two, but right now they're enemies. And Juliet is more angry with Roma. So far that I've seen, Juliet really hates Roma. She wants to, like, kill him. And Roma is more saddened by how Juliet has turned out to be and how she's so different from the Juliet he knew. And yeah, so I'm guessing Roma is the softie. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see. But I am really liking it. I'm in it. I'm excited to see where this story goes. I've been wanting to read this duology for since these Violent Delights came out, and I just haven't. Like I said in my intro, this is a way for me to read series that I've been putting off and putting off and putting off and putting off. So I don't know why I've been putting this duology off, because it's very good. The writing in this is so good. There was a passage that I marked where Roma was actually talking about how he is mourning for Juliet, and I'm going to read it. And he mourned for her. He didn't wish to, but he did. He ached with the knowledge that the softness of their youth was gone forever, that the Juliet he remembered was long dead. He ached even more to think that though he was the one who had dealt the killing blow, he had still dreamed of her in these 4 years, of Juliet whose laughter had rung along the riverside. It was a haunting. He had buried Juliet like a corpse beneath the floorboards, content to live with the ghost that whispered to him in his sleep. Seeing her again was like finding the corpse beneath the floorboards, to not only have resurrected, but to be pointing a gun right at his head. And that's how, like, he kind of feels about Juliet, and how she feels about him. Okay, so this is how Juliet is feeling towards him now. She could have reminded him of what he did 4 years ago, pushed the blade of guilt until he was bleeding. I am just really liking it. I am annotating this. I don't know if the camera will pick that up, but yes. So I am going to keep reading, and I will check back in my next hour. that's better. Yes, I just wanted to check in and give you guys an update because remember when I said, yeah, I'll check in every hour? It didn't happen because I just got sucked into this book and I just kept reading, and before I knew it, we're 3 hours and 27 minutes into the 24-hour time. So, obviously not every hour, but we'll check in like when I feel like it, I think. So, I'm on chapter 21. I'm on page 240. According to Scrib, I have 3 hours and like 11 minutes left of this book. I haven't been listening to it on audiobook like I originally started because I've been actually watching some booktube while reading at the same time. Talent! So yes, but I am actually really liking this book a lot. I wasn't sure how I was going to like this book because I've never read anything like this before, but it's so good. I'm gonna take these off because you guys can see the reflection. Okay, but it's so good. I love Juliet. She's a great character, and she at one point went to this masquerade ball with her father, and her father was like, she went to masquerade ball with her father, and Paul was there, which is the guy who wanted to work with her, give her a deal on drugs or whatever, I don't remember. But he was like, she was like, what do you want, Paul? And he was like, to talk. And she's like, we've already talked, like I've already told you. And he goes, perhaps I just like want your affection, pretty girl. And she, in her monologue, she says this, and I really like this paragraph because it's so true. This is after he like said, perhaps I just want your affection, pretty girl. She goes, gross. She would bet her life savings that he only thought her pretty because she was digestible to Western standards. Her feminine beauty was a concept as fleeting as power. If she acquired a tan, put on some weight, let a few decades pass, the street artists would not be rendering her face to sell their creams anymore. Chinese and Western standards alike were arbitrary, pitiful things, but Juliet still needed to keep herself in line, force herself to follow them. If people were to look up to her, without her looks, the city would turn on her. It would claim that she didn't deserve to be as competent as she was. The men, meanwhile, could be as tan, as fat, as old as they wish, and it would have no bearing on what people thought of them. And I was like, that is so true. Because in society, we praise men on them getting older. And I mean, hello, we have a Sexiest Man Alive. People magazine does every year, and it's always an older male. Meanwhile, women are never praised. We're always like, oh, well, why don't you get Botox, or don't dye your hair so your gray doesn't showing, and like we're supposed to do all these things to keep up our beauty because of the standards the beauty community has in, you know, this world, but yet men can just like do whatever and they're still called the sexiest men alive when they're like 60. You don't see them talking about women like that, and I just am like, what? Like, so that's just like rendered that thought, and I was like, yeah, that is so true. So now we're at the point where her and Roma are working together to fight this madness, to figure out what's going on, because Roma's little sister has it, and I was so upset. I wish I had the camera rolling when I found out, because she was scratching, and I was like, oh no. I was like, no, 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 no. And then she began like scratching her throat, and I was like, I wish I had the camera rolling. It's my reaction. But that's where I am. The tension between Roma and Julia is so good. Like, they're like, Juliet's more like, I want to kill you, but like, I still have love for you. You know what I'm saying? And Roma's just like, I love you. Like, that's how it is. They haven't said that to each other or not, but like their inner monologues, like Juliet's inner monologue is definitely struggling as to why, like, she hates him for what it did. Like, she wants to kill him, but at the same time, like, she finds herself leaning into him. She finds herself, like, you know, knowing what he's thinking, like, gazing at him, like, she's like, I don't understand. And that's just, like, I love that in books. And I love that this is going to be a slow burn, I'm guessing. I hope it is. I don't think it would work if, like, within the next 2 chapters they're automatically, like, together and kissing. Like, I don't think that would work. But I assume this is a slow burn romance, and I'm here for it. I love a slow burn romance, but I'm really enjoying this book a lot. I love the world. I love the characters. It's just a fascinating story, and I cannot believe it's taken me this long. But yes, I am gonna get off here. I'm gonna do some skincare, continue on sprints because Mel is doing sprints for the readathon weekend she's doing, and it's helping a lot with this book. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do, and I will check in a little bit. I can't. Chloe Gong, did you really do that? Did you really do that? No, because this, no. I'm angry and I'm sad at the same time. No, because that's fucked up. Fucked up. Miss Chloe Gong, can we talk? Because this was incredible. Oh my god. Okay, first off, let me do a time update. I finished it in 5 hours and 58 minutes. Granted, I was annotating, so slow down the time, but still, making progress, making good timing. Alright, so the way this book pulled at my heartstrings and had me going up and down was just incredible. This is what I want in a book. I want to feel these emotions in a book. I want to be like betrayed, but yet resurrected, but yet like, you know what I'm saying? Like let me just say, I am so glad that I chose to read this book when the final book came out, because now I can just binge it and not wait, because that ending, can we just talk about it for a second? Like, the way it all went down, the way Julia and Roma, like, confessing their love for each other, how he was like, I can't stop loving you even though I hated you, and I love it. And then, like, her finding out, like, why he did it, that he did it because he wanted her alive. He'd rather her Scarlet Gang and have her alive and her hate him than, like, her be dead. And, or he would give her life for her life, and it's just like, yes. Can we talk about Marshall? Because that last clip you saw was when I read about Marshall dying. I was angry at Juliet, because why would she do that? We love Marshall. And Miss Chloe Gong, I needed to have words with her if she was going to kill off Marshall, and have Juliet do it. Because not her, like, making me really root for these groups of people, and then for her to turn around Marshall. But, like, in the epilogue, we got the answers we needed. How he's alive, which is great. And then also, the insects are not dead. Obviously, if you guys are watching this vlog, you've either read the book, or you're interested in reading it but don't care about spoilers, or you have no interest in reading it and you're just here for the content. Hello, welcome, subscribe, either way. But if you guys haven't read this yet and you're still watching for, like, even though there's some spoilers in here, if you guys have any fears with spiders, insect, anything like that, please, this book, I'm just saying you, there's insects in this book. But wow, a gorgeous book. So, and time now is to move on to Our Violent Ends, which I'm really excited, but also I have a feeling this book is going to rip my heart out. So let's find out together, shall we? friends. I haven't talked to you guys since I started this book. I haven't given you guys a time update, so let's do a time update. We're currently 8 hours and 4 minutes into this 24-hour readathon, I guess you could call it, but it's not a readathon, it's just seeing if I can complete a series in 24 hours. So, I am...
Sorry, I'm still not sure about that.
Thanks, him. Thanks. Okay, so let me take... Okay, I am currently 130 pages into Our Violent Ends, and I'm really liking this, you guys. First off, the writing is stunning. Chloe Gong, you have an amazing skill with writing. Roma, it makes me so sad that Roma, like, is so angry and, like, hates her and wants to kill her, but I understand because he thinks his friend Marshall is dead and that she killed him when we all know he's not. And it makes me so sad that he's like, I want to kill you. There was actually a moment, in the first chapter, where she was at the theater and she sees Roma, they lock eyes and she's like frozen, and then he pulls out a gun and shoots at her. Misses. And then they have an encounter in the hallway, and like he's like, I want to kill you, like I'm gonna kill you. And she's like, well then do it. And he pauses, and she's like, why did you pause? And then she knocks him out, and she goes to like him, but he's knocked out, he can't reply. She goes, why do you pause? Juliet mimicked bitterly. Softly she set him down, brushing his used hair out of his face. Because even if you hate me, Roman Montague, I still love you. Yeah, the love-hate thing, I love it. So we were strangers to lovers, lovers to enemies, enemies to lovers, now back to enemies, and I'm like, I just love it. This is what I want with a romance, okay? But currently, Roma and Juliet have to work together because their fathers actually came together and said that, you know, so sorry if you can hear someone's bass. Someone is parked in their car bumping their bass, and it's so rude because I'm trying to film. Anyway, can you tell that's like one of my pet peeves? Anyways, so they are working together because there has been a blackmailer who has been blackmailing both the White Flowers and the Scarlet Gang, that if they don't give them this amount of money, they'll let loose. Because as we know, at the end of these Violent Delights, there was a note from Paul said, if in case I die, let them all go. And we now know there is some sort of monster out there. He's a human, but he can turn into a monster at the drop of a water, which I think I had a theory about that in these Violent Delights. I said, does he only turn a monster when in contact with water? So I was kind of right. And he releases his little bugs, but his bugs come back to him after, you know, they're done, and he turns back to like, and he wants to turn back to a human. They come back to him, they no longer stay in the human. So there's that, but I'm guessing that's the blackmailer, but we have no idea yet. But yeah, so they're working together, and she also spends time with Marshall, and he like wants to get out so bad, but he does go out, and she found out that he did that, and she was so angry. She's like, why'd you do that? You could spot. He was spot by a Scarlet person, but he had to kill the Scarlet Gang member, and he's like, I hate this city. And yeah, that's basically where I'm at right now in the book, and I'm really liking it. I have a feeling this book is going to break me because last night when I put in that I was reading this book and I was looking at reviews, everyone's saying I need therapy after finishing this book. Like, I'm so messed up. Like, this book broke me, and I'm like, oh, this book is going to break me. So I had that feeling. But yes, I will come back when I have more updates. You guys are literally stacked on my planner and 2 books and a lot of, let me just show you. That's your tripod. Ignore this messiness, okay? I need to get my life together. I will one day. Hello. Hi. How you doing? I am here with reading updates and time updates. I think when I last updated you guys, I was 8 hours and 4 minutes into this 24 hours. I'm 10 hours. 10 hours and 9 minutes into this readathon. Ooh, I thought I just stopped my watch. Okay. I'm on page 259, chapter 26. I'm reading this book slower than I did the first one, and I think it's because I really just want to take in this book knowing it's the last book. But updates. So I forget the last thing I updated you guys about, but basically what has happened is Juliet and Roma were working together. We know that. I think I told you guys that, obviously, if I update you. I am so tired, and I don't know why, because I've had this whole coffee, but honestly it's making me very anxious. I think it's the caffeine level. Something about Starbucks like coffee makes me so anxious. It's just their coffee. No other place's coffee makes me anxious. It's just them, and I don't know why. Maybe it's me knowing I spent $6 on coffee when I have coffee at home. Anyways, see, this is how my brain works. This is a look inside my head and my thought process. Anyways, let me get comfy. So they're working together, and one day Tyler, who is I don't know if he's next in line to be heir, or he wants to be heir so bad he wants to like dethrone Juliet and like be heir. He's like the asshole. I cannot stand Tyler. He set the White Flowers safe house on fire, and people burn, children burn. It was honestly heartbreaking. I cried at that part. And then ever since then, Roma was like, I'm not working with her anymore. Her, you know, blah blah blah. Like he thought like she had to handle it. When in reality she didn't, like, at all. And so they haven't been working together. And then she goes to the temple with her mom and her cousins, and she sees his Roma's little sister there, and she's like, what are you doing? And then all of a sudden like shouting happens, and the White Flowers are like planning an attack, and she like takes Alyssa, and so like Roma would follow her because she found out that a White Flower is feeding information to a communist, and like they're feeding them information, they're giving them what they want, but they're also working with them. There's like a part in the, like a little group in the White Flower who's doing it. And she wouldn't tell Roma that, but Roma wouldn't listen to her because, you know, he thought Juliet had a hand in burning the safe house. He follows her, and he like throws a knife at her and, you know, stabs her, and he like freaks out, and he does up her wound, like stitch her, because, you know, he loves her. He hates her, but he loves her. He loves her so much he hates her for it. That's what it is. That's the vibe. And she tells him, and he's like, that doesn't make any sense. And she's like, no, I need you. So they're like, I'm telling you, like, we need to work together. So they're back to working together. They do this whole plan where they steal the vaccine papers and all that and samples from the Scarlet Lab. They did that, and Benedict, which is, I think it's Roma's cousin, like puts a cloth over Roma's mouth, and like it knocks him out. It's probably chloroform or something. And he like he's gonna kill Juliet. He's like, this is for Marshall. And as soon as he's gonna do it, she's like, Marshall's alive, he's alive, he's alive. So she takes him to Marshall and finds out Marshall's alive, which thank God, because it was stressing me out so much. Anytime Marshall would be out and around people, I'm like, he's gonna get caught. And like anytime Roma was like being a dick to her, I just want to be like, he's alive. So thank God it's out in the open, but I understand why. And then the big thing that literally just happened, I just finished reading it, is she's back home, and Tyler was like, I know you were all over that, like, I smelled your perfume, like, I know you're the one working with them, like, you stole the vaccine, blah, 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 blah. Her dad wasn't home. She's like, where is Lord Kai? And they found out Lord Kai is at the Burlesque Hub and it's locked down because he's dealing with Rosalind, who is the White Flower spy. And I'm like, I knew it. I didn't know it, but like, I knew it. But like, it makes sense because she has a White Flower lover and we don't know who yet. I have my theories on who it is. But yeah, I was like, Rosalind. It makes sense though because also her lover, but also the way she's been acting towards everyone. So it makes sense. But I'm gonna keep reading. Those are my updates. I'm hoping to finish this book today. I don't know because it's 3 o'clock and I think I probably have a couple hours left. And I don't want to be reading this all night because I have other books I need to read for my weekly vlog. But we'll see. I may just binge it and read it. I think I'm about halfway through. It looks like I'm about halfway through. So, I don't know. We'll see. I will update you guys later. Hi. Me again. I've come back. I've showered, hence the wet hair. But I have updates. I'm currently 11 hours, so this is an hour later. I am on 321. And things have happened. First off, Tyler took Roma's little sister, saw it coming. He's such an asshole. And he challenged Roma to a Russian duel. Basically, they each get one shot. And Tyler was shooting first. And as soon as Tyler went to shot, Juliet shot him and killed him. And his people are dead. And Juliet finally revealed to Roma that Marshall was alive. And then the revolution happened. And so Roma and Juliet went off together in a safe house. Basically, they admitted their love for each other. And I just need to read you guys this paragraph because... look. Do you see that? I'm gonna start from like a point to where it will like make sense. I wish we had been born as other people, she whispered. Born into ordinary lives, untouched by a blood feud. Roma's hands came up too, curled loosely around hers to keep her touch remaining upon him for a long while. He looked at her, taking in her eyes. Her mouth gazed roaming like he once had been starving, and now this was a feast. No, Roma finally said. Then we would not have met, then I would have lived an ordinary life, pining for some great love I would never find, because ordinary things happen to ordinary people, and ordinary people settle for something that satisfied them, never knowing if there would have been greater happiness in another life. His voice was rough, but it was certain. I will fight this war to love you, Juliet Kai. I will fight this feud to have you, because it was this feud that gave you to me, twisted as it is, and now I will take you away from it. I want someone to love me that bad. But that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go feed my cat because I will not get any reading done with that. So I'm gonna go feed him. Hi guys, I'm in bed. I mean, duh. So sorry for the shaky camera and the quality and the shitty lighting. I'm in, like I said, I'm in bed. I wasn't planning on updating, but things have happened and I just need to update. First off, I said I was going to try and finish this book tonight. Didn't happen because I got an insane migraine and I think it was from Starbucks because I haven't even said this on my weekly vlogs. If you guys watch my channel, I do weekly vlogs and I put them out every single Monday, so subscribe for those. But I am very sensitive to caffeine, like caffeine higher than like your normal cup of coffee. So like I'm talking like a cup of coffee you make at home. Anything that is higher in caffeine level than that, I'm very sensitive. So Starbucks coffee, I don't know what it is about them, but their caffeine just does not agree with me. I don't know if anyone else experiences this with Starbucks, but if you do, please let me know because I would love to know that I'm not alone in this. But like, I got really anxious like right after that last clip that I updated you guys with. I was already anxious, but I took a shower to see if like that would calm down because sometimes it does. A shower fixes everything, but it didn't this time. And I was really anxious, but I needed to update you guys. And then right after that clip, like anxiety hit full blown 100%. And then I got this like pain right above my eye, and usually that means a migraine's coming. And then I got a migraine, and then I got sick to my stomach. And so I didn't really read much. I'm listening to it on audiobook now and following along. I'm feeling better. If anyone is wondering, if anyone cares, I'm feeling a lot better, which is good. So I'm doing some reading.
but things have happened. The last time I updated you guys, I think I mentioned that Rosalind might be the blackmailer. Well, we have figured stuff out. I was right. I forget where in the book, but I wrote something about her lover being possibly Dimitri, which is it Roma's cousin? Is that Roma's cousin? I think that's Roma's cousin. And I was right about that one, and I should have put two and two together that he was the blackmailer and he's the one with the monsters and like all of that because he wants to overthrow the White Flowers. Should have known that. Didn't put two together, but I was right about her lover being Dimitri. Rosalind ran away, and then they were trying to find her, and then the monsters are attacking the city, and Rosalind comes out like right after we found out that her lover is Dimitri. She like comes out because Dimitri's no longer in their apartment, and she's like, stop, like in front of the monsters, and then Benedict and Roma are there, and they like knock her out and take her like hostage, and they like tie her to a chair. Anyway, so they're interrogating her, right? And she says all this stuff, and then General Shu, which is the Nationalist's guard, I think, comes in and says, I'm here for my son. And Marshall says, hello, Baba, you have terrible timing. We all thought he was dead, right? That is the one thing that has shook me to my core with this book. So yeah, that just happened. But also I realized I have been pronouncing Juliet's last name wrong, and I'm so sorry. It's Sai, not Kai. I'm really bad with pronunciation with words, and I try my best, but sometimes I say them in my head right, but I don't like vocalize them right. So I'm very sorry if I ever pronounce anything wrong. I don't mean to. I just suck at it, and I try my best. I really do, but you know, sometimes you don't. But I'm so sorry. Her last name is Sai, not Kai. Anyways, I'm gonna continue reading, hoping to get to the marker I set tonight, which is at page 400, which means I would only have 94 pages left to finish off tomorrow, which is doable. But yeah, I'm gonna keep reading, and I'll talk to you guys later. Me again, in the same shitty lighting and the same shitty quality. I just read a couple pages ago that she faked her own death, Juliet did. And I don't know why it took me so long to click, but on page 386, it clicked, and I was like, wait a damn minute. Please tell me this book does not end the same way as the play by William Shakespeare ends. Because I know this book is inspired by Romeo and Juliet. Okay, like you can put two and two together. You can see how it's very, not similar, but like the gangs, the White Flowers, you know, the opposing loves that they're not supposed to be like lovers because their families are enemies and they're supposed to hate each other, blah, blah, blah. And then she like fakes her own death. Please tell me this is not going to end the way I think it ends, because I will not be okay. I'm going to report back when I finish this book. I'm probably not going to finish this book tonight because I don't think I can mentally handle it. If I was off tomorrow, right, I would stay up and finish this book, but I'm not. I have to be up at 6 a.m. and it's currently almost 9:30, so like I can't. My bedtime is, technically I'm supposed to be asleep by 10, but we're just gonna stay up till 10:30 tonight. But I'm gonna stop at page 400 because I'm very close to page 400, but I lose it, and I guess you guys will see my reaction because I'll try to get it on camera, but ta-ta. I am 30 pages away from the ending, so I thought I would come on and record myself reading the last part of this book. So, I guess cue time lapse until I have a reaction. doesn't seem easy as pie. Is she going to sacrifice herself for them? Is Julia doing what I think she's doing? Stupid, walk away. Walk away. Now is not time to play the hero, Juliet. Now is not time to play the hero. I need you to walk away so you and Roma can be together. No, please tell me they're not going to sacrifice themselves because... Did they sacrifice themselves? Hold on. That they were going to do this. Sorry. I need a minute to collect it. Chloe Gong! Why did you do this? I can't believe I'm crying on the internet. But if you've read this book, you know. Okay, I'm gonna collect myself and I'll be back for my final wrap up.
Okay guys, it's been a couple days since I finished Our Violet Ends. Chloe Gone really did that. Okay, let's just talk about it. So These Violent Delights, amazing book, amazing first installment. The writing was beautiful. Chloe Gong, I think, does enemies to lovers very well. She writes angst very well. I have not read a book in a very long time that has two characters that hate each other but also love each other but hate each other because they love each other, like, written so well. And Roma and Juliet have my heart, okay? This book, I guess this series, broke me so many times. I was not expecting it. I was not expecting to cry that hard at the end of Our Violent Delights, but I did. This series was a roller coaster. I mean, you guys knew. You guys watched the vlogs. Obviously, if you're at this part, you watched the vlogs. You guys saw the roller coaster these books put me through. Miss Chloe Gong, where do you want me to mail my invoice to? Because I need to go to therapy now after this. Like, I don't know. I think also the political undertones that Chloe Gong wrote in these books that were also very, like, relevant to today's day and age with what's going on in the world, I think was so smart, was done very well. Like, she is a mastermind, okay? She has become an auto-buy author for me. I actually, spoiler alert, just got her new book in. I picked it for Book of the Month, and I'm so excited to get my hands on that and just, like, devour it. I don't know, I just really love this series. I knew I was going to like this series, but I wasn't expecting to love this series, so I'm very glad I was able to read this series. I did read it in under 24 hours, I promise you guys, but the stopwatch, I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was too long, like, on hold, but it disappeared. But I read these guys in 13 hours and 30 minutes. So this was the first experiment and this installment of this new series on my channel. So seeing that I can read these 2 books in 13 hours gives me hope that I can read a longer series in 24 hours. Very happy about that. I really loved doing this, especially this way, because I can't like put aside a full 24 hours. I just can't do that with work, and I have other stuff going on. I just can't like read for 24 hours. I'm a person that can't sit and just read all day long. I wish I could, but I just can't. I can't sit still, okay? Can't sit still for that long. I didn't even say my rating. Obviously, both of these books are 5 stars. Obsessed. If you guys have read these books, let me know your thoughts down below and what you thought, your rating, all that. I mean, if I could rate these books at 10 stars, I would, but Goodreads doesn't allow you to. If you guys that like this video, make sure you guys subscribe and like it. I would really love it. So yeah, you guys, that is it for this vlog. I hope you loved it. I hope it was entertaining. I mean, I did cry on the internet for the very first time, so there you go. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up, and also make sure to subscribe, because I would love to have you here. If you guys don't already, you guys can follow me on my social medias. They are always linked down below, and I will catch you guys in my next video.